So welcome, friends, to the fourth and final day of exploring prayers and meditations of the Mother with Dr. Monica Gelati. So before we start again, we'll just step back for a couple of moments of silence. Thank you. So very warm greetings to you all, and on to the final session, exploring prayers and meditations. Over to you, Monica, and enjoy, benefit from the session, everyone, please.
Thank you, James. And yeah, so I really hope that we have been just able to get a window to prayers and meditations, and may all of what we have discussed be just a beginning now for us to start on a longer journey by ourselves, not depending on any outer thing, because the window has been given, and I think that should be enough. And then we can see that how useful, how benefit these prayers can be for the work of Mother and Sri Aurobindo, which we have to do in ourselves. And that's why Mother has left these prayers to us, because she wanted us to see these, because those which one the ones which were not to be seen are not there, but these are there, left to be seen and to be understood and to be followed. So there must be a reason behind that. So today I want to start with the many things. There are many things that I want to share. I don't know how much I'll be able to, but never mind. I want to start with what we stopped yesterday at. There were a few questions that when I asked you that are there any topics on your mind which you would like to discuss? Some of them we were able to talk about, and some I just kind of in an umbrella kind of a thing, I told you that face it, because the mother is with us all the time, and we are the children of the mother, and there should be nothing stopping us. No fear should be able to stop us from venturing further and progressing further. And no horizon is wide enough for us to venture. So we can go on and on with the faith in our body and mind that mother is with us. And if we don't have any hidden agendas in our mind, what is there to fear? There's nothing to fear. So that certitude has to be there in us. But I thought, since yesterday I was not able to take two topics closely, so I just want to mention the prayer which one can see for these two topics. One was fear of transition, which Shelley had asked. And when mother was transitioning herself, she shares a couple of prayers on that. And you can see the right attitude towards transition in these prayers. So these are prayers starting from March 3, 1914 onwards. So let's go to March 3, 1914. Yeah, so maybe Shelley, you could read the prayer for all of us, since this was your topic that you wanted to discuss.
Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
As the day of departure draws near, as the day of departure draws near, I enter into a kind of self-communion. I turn with a fond solemnity towards all those thousand little nothings around us which have silently, for so many years, played their role of faithful friends. I thank them gratefully for all the charm they were able to give to the outer side of our life. I wish that if they are destined to pass into other hands than ours for any length of time, these hands may be gentle to them and know all the respect that is due to what thy divine love, O Lord, has brought out from the dark inconscience of chaos. Then I turn towards the future, and my gaze becomes more solemn still. What it holds in store for us, I do not know nor care to know. Outer circumstances have no importance at all. My only wish is that this may be for us the beginning of a new inner period in which, more detached from material things, we could be more conscious of thy law and more one-pointedly consecrated to its manifestation, that it may be a period of greater light, greater love, of a more perfect dedication to thy cause. In a silent adoration, I contemplate thee.
Thank you. So, did you get your answer of the right attitude towards any transition? It may not be a physical transition, it may be just a job transition, a relationship transition, whatever. But she says that whatever the outer changes, what it holds in store for us, I do not know. And she says, nor care to know. So this has to be the faith. Outer circumstances have no importance at all. Whether I'm married, whether I'm divorced, whether I have children, whether my children are not there, whether I have a house, maybe right now I do not have a house, job is taken away, job is given, somebody rejects you from the company, you're pushed out. How does it matter? This is the faith we need to have. And she says, and she wishes, my only wish is that this, whatever change is going to be there, this may be for us the beginning of a new inner period in which, more detached from material things, we could be more conscious of thy law and more one-pointedly consecrated to its manifestation. So this is the attitude we need. Yes, Shelley, you're with me? Anything you want to share? Or all good?
Right now, I'm only receiving.
Okay. So again, this was just a window. You can read further prayers that follow March 3, and you would see also what Mother shares about this transition in a greater detail. Now, the other thing that I wanted to take was yesterday, the topic that came was how to relate with others. So here also, Mother gives us a nice window how to relate. And so far, I think those of us who may have paid a little understanding, attention, we would have noticed that if we were to kind of conclude from whatever we have read, Mother wants disinterested love, disinterested works, and a total self giving in whatever you are doing, and yet a detached outlook. So, even when we talk about relating with others, whether it's our immediate family or our friends or anything, the same attitude has to be there. But let's go closer to it, and we will see December 27, 1916. Ashwarya, do you have the prayers with you? Yeah. So please pull out December 27, 1916, since this was your topic. So I would like you to maybe read it out for all of us. Huh?
I thought you answered it yesterday about self-forgetfulness.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but let's read one prayer so that again, detailed window is given to us.
December 17, 1916.
No, 27.
27, 1916. Do I read it?
Yes.
O my beloved Lord, my heart is bowed before thee. My arms are stretched towards thee, imploring thee to set all this being on fire with thy sublime love, that it may radiate from there on the world. My heart is wide open in my breast. My heart is open and turned towards thee. It is open and empty, that thou mayst fill it with thy divine love. It is empty of all but thee, and thy presence fills it through and through, and yet leaves it empty, for it can contain also all the infinite variety of the manifested world. O Lord, my arms are outstretched in supplication towards thee. My heart is wide open before thee, that thou mayst make of it a reservoir of thy infinite love. Love me in all things, everywhere, and in all beings, was thy reply. I prostrate myself before thee and ask of thee to give me that power.
Thank you. So we have our answer. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Uh, anything else anyone wants to share before I uh, rush myself through whatever I have to finish today? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So today, I want to take on a larger scale what is the global situation and what should be our attitude towards it. Because the crises have happened throughout eons, they have kept happening again and again, and it's not anything new. Of course, for us it is new, but the time has seen all these crises time and again. So for that also, Mother gives us what should be our attitude, and rather than feeling helpless in the face of current situations globally, what should be the right prayer, right attitude. So we can take that first. Yes. So we will go to August 11, 1914, where a series of events are starting, and then Mother is noticing and uh, sharing the right attitude. August 11, 1914. Yes. So would anyone who has not read would like to read this prayer? August 11, 1914. Quick, quick. We lose time.
I can read.
Yes, Ronita.
O my sweet master, enter into all these confused thoughts, all these anguished hearts. Kindle there the fire of thy divine presence. The shadow of the earth has fallen back upon it. It has been completely shaken by it. But this shadow was hiding thy immutable sun. And now that it has crashed down upon this poor world, rocking its very foundations and transforming it into a formidable chaos, wilt thou not once again move upon the chaos and speak thy will? Let there be light, O thou marvelous unknown one, thou who hast not yet manifested thyself, thou who awaitest the propitious hour and hast sent us upon earth to prepare thy ways. All the elements of this being cry to thee, may thy will be done, and give themselves to thee in a supreme, unconquerable urge. Envelop this sorrowful earth with the strong arms of thy mercy. Permeate it with the beneficent outpourings of thy infinite love. I am the powerful arms of thy mercy. I am the vast bosom of thy boundless love. My arms have enfolded the sorrowful earth and press it tenderly to my generous heart, and slowly a kiss of supreme benediction is laid upon the struggling atom, the kiss of the mother which soothes and heals.
Thank you. So the first thing that we have to get rid of is the separation that we feel between us and the mother. Because whenever we are reading the prayers, something in us keeps telling us that, oh, mother can do this, but not me. I am so small. I am so limited. I can't have this love. But if all of you would agree that the divine is infinite, then it is impossible that the divine is not present in each grain of us. Right? It's impossible that the mother is separate from us if the Divine Mother is infinite and the divine is infinite. So even logically speaking, it is impossible to conclude that I am separate from the mother. It may be that I don't know the mother present in me. I have not realized it consciously. Of course, we can say that. And that's what the prayers are about. It's about the conscious union with the Divine Mother. But we must never put a limitation upon us. The moment that thought comes, so, but I am the limited one, it is an evil thought. It has to be put as ahuti in the fire. So notice this subtle movement and do not let yourself to be limited by any thought or any feeling that you feel it's true. Okay. And then we see here in this prayer, the right attitude. The moment I think of the situations happening right now, rather than feeling helpless and rather than saying, oh, how sad things are happening, which is sad. It's not that they are not sad, but the right attitude is, would you not say once again, the divine, let there be light? May thy will be done. Whatever you want shall be done. I know it will be done. There has to be a unshakable faith in our heart. That, and we'll read something more today where Mother says that when the truth consciousness presses down on existence, immediate result is a vast destruction, and on the appearance, things appear very gloomy. But this destruction is creating the ground for a new creation. And the new creation is parallelly happening, but we are not able to notice it because we live mostly in our outer being and outer consciousness, and we only see and feel and understand whatever senses give us. And the senses at the moment are giving just destruction and chaos and everything. But a parallel movement is also happening, which is the creation of new beings and heralds of harmony, communal harmony and collective harmony. And also this enveloping of sorrowful earth, what Mother says, I envelop the sorrowful earth in my arms, and I push it, kind of give it to your to the divine. This also is a practice that yesterday also we did. So either you feel like as if you're enveloping, or you are part of that earth, and the whole earth is being is in supplication to the divine, is being offered up to the divine for a new creation. And in coming prayers, a few prayers forward also, this continues. And in one of the prayers, Mother says that whatever is happening, the bloodshed and everything, may this be useful for your work. And may this hasten the work that you want to do on earth. So whatever, whether it's destruction, because destruction at times may be necessary, and it is necessary for a new creation. When we want to build a new house on an old ruin, we have to demolish it so that something new can be constructed. When we in our being want to be a new person, at times we have to really, and it's not hidden from us, that we have to become a blank slate so as to be able to start new. Mahakali's force. Okay, so it has its purpose, and to be very sure in our certitude that nothing can be an obstacle in the divine work. It's either sooner or later, but it will be done. Victory is to the divine. So further prayers, August 9, 1914, and then August 18, 1914, the fall prayers around this time, August 21, 1914, August 31, 1914, September 4, 1914, and September 5, 1914. All these are about this era of change and destruction and the right attitude. So we can go through later whenever you want. So I want to, and in the meantime, in between, anything you have to share, please do share. Yes. So I want to read, there is this All India magazine, maybe some of us may have it, of November 2006. This is how it looks. And some beautiful lines are there which may be very appropriate for our concluding session today. I'll just go through them a little quickly, and please be with me, bear with me with the content, and stay with the words if possible. So Mother is talking about supramental creation, and she shares that the realization is definite. It is going to happen. Only the time necessary for this realization will be longer or shorter according to our individual effort, our concentration, our goodwill, and the importance we give to this fact of transformation. For the inattentive observer, things may appear very much what they were before. But for the one who knows how to see and is not deceived by appearances, things are going well. Let each one do his best, and perhaps not many years will have to elapse before the first visible results become apparent to all. It is for you to know whether this interests you more than everything else in the world. There comes a moment when the body itself finds that there is nothing in the world which is so worth living for as this transformation, and that there is nothing which can have as great as an interest as this passionate interest of transformation. It is as though all the cells of the body were athirst for that light which wants to manifest. They cry out for it. They find an intense joy in it, and they are sure of the victory. This is the aspiration that I am trying to communicate to you, and you will understand that everything else in life is dull, insipid, futile, worthless in comparison with that, the transformation in the light. Naturally, and now she talks about supramental consciousness and supramental change. Naturally, the first effect will be a change of consciousness, first among the most receptive, and then in a greater number of people. The first noticeable result is a heightening of the general confusion, because the old principles have lost their authority, and men, except for a very few, are not ready to obey the divine command, because they are incapable of perceiving it. But according to what I have been told, I mean by people who listen to the radio, read newspapers, all things that I do not do, the world seems to be undergoing an action which for the moment is upsetting. It seems that the number of the apparently mad is increasing considerably. In America, for example, the entire youth seems to have taken up a sort of a curious brainwave, which would be disquieting for reasonable people, but which is certainly an indication that an unusual force is at work. It is the breaking up of all habits and rules. It is good. For the moment, it is rather strange, but it is necessary. The one thing seems obvious. Humanity has reached a certain state of general tension in effort, in action, even in daily life. With such an excessive hyperactivity, so widespread a trepidation, that mankind as a whole seems to have come to a point where it must either break through the resistance and emerge into a new consciousness, or else fall back into an abyss of darkness and inertia. Yes, now she talks about how the peace, unshakable peace, has to be the base. There was a time not so long ago when the spiritual aspiration of man was turned towards a silent, inactive peace, detached from all worldly things, a flight from life, precisely to avoid battle, to rise above the struggle, escape all effort, It was a spiritual peace in which, along with the cessation of all tension, struggle, effort, there ceased also suffering in all its forms, and this was considered to be true and only expression of a spiritual and divine life. It was considered to be the divine grace, the divine help, the divine intervention. And even now, in this age of anguish, tension, hypertension, this sovereign peace is the best received aid of all, the most welcome, the solace people ask and hope for. For many, it is still the true sign of a divine intervention, of divine grace. In fact, no matter what one wants to realize, one must begin by establishing this perfect and immutable peace. So we have to realize and we have to understand that no matter how different our integral yoga may be from the other yogas, but it's a synthesis also of the other yogas. So Sri Aurobindo tells us, Mother tells us that where those elements from the other yogas have to be used, we cannot bypass peace. Peace, unshakable peace, is the base on which other things can, develop. New things can develop. It is the basis from which one must work. But unless one is dreaming of an exclusive personal liberation, one cannot stop there. So, of course, we don't have to stop there, but the base has to be there. Okay, then again, she's talking about supramental realization. Even if individual transformation is not always permissible or possible, there will be a kind of general uplifting, a harmonization of the whole, which will make it possible for a new order, a new harmony to be established, and for the anguish of the present disorder and struggle to disappear and be replaced by an order which will allow a harmonious functioning of the whole. We must rise above, spring up into light and harmony, or fall back down into the simplicity of a healthy, unperverted animal life. So she's sharing about how man has a mind, and you can see very clearly how we have misused and abused our mind. Even animals are having much simpler and better life than us at the moment. Why? Because Mother says they are not perverted with the mind that man has. So the man has, the mind that man has, it's like an elastic. There is a purpose behind the elasticity, because it has to reach up to the divine. So the elasticity has to be there. But the problem is that the elasticity is misused and it debases itself even below an animal. That is the misuse that we have done. And look at our own minds. I mean, in how many few opportune moments are we able to use a mind wisely? Usually we are misused by the uncontrolled mind. We have no power over our thoughts. The feelings rule us, right? So we have to become first a person, a human being who is master of himself, who is master of his thoughts. He thinks when he wants to think. He's not assailed by thoughts. He's not assailed by feelings. The feelings are totally, the sentiments are totally in our control. And Sri Aurobindo says that the man's problem is his crying weaknesses and sentimentalism. What we, at the moment, we think that to be sentimental is being human. No, it weakens us, it imperfects us, it makes us getting pulled down, and we can't take a right action if we are sentimental. All of us have observed, So, yes, and then she says this perversion that she refers and gives it to the mind, that it's the mind which is responsible for the perversion is in human beings. She says that is the meaning of original sin, the perversion which began with the mind. That how mind, which has the capacity to take us also to the highest reaches as a ladder, has also the ability to take us further down, even down than the animal base. That is what we have done at the moment. We have misused it. Yes. So she says that part of humanity, of human consciousness, which is capable of uniting with the supermind and liberating itself, will be completely transformed. But the corrupted part of human consciousness, which allows perversion through its misuse of the mind, will be abolished. So there would come a time with our efforts and with the divine grace that there would not be this part left in us which is able to go much down and get perverted than even an animal. To console you, I may tell you that by the very fact that you live on earth at this time, whether you are conscious of it or not, even whether you want it or not, you are absorbing with the air you breathe this new supramental substance which is now spreading in Earth's atmosphere. And it is preparing things in you which will manifest very suddenly as soon as you have taken the decisive step. So this is the certitude Mother is giving. And she says that all the help is there much more than earlier times, much more than earlier times. You ask for it and it's given, the help. And then she says that when this is coming, the supramental we are able to receive it more and more. She says, when this happens to you, almost all the questions you ask yourself or you ask me will be solved. And anyway, your attitude to life will be so different that you will understand what is meant when one speaks of living spiritually. And at that moment, you will also understand a great thing, a very great thing, how to live without ego. Until then, you cannot understand it. The whole of life is so dependent on the ego that it seems absolutely impossible to live and act except with or by the ego. But after this new birth, you can look at the ego with a smile and say to it, my friend, I don't need you anymore. And this is also one of the results which brings you a very decisive sense of liberation. This is what we call nirvana, liberation from the ego, which is the first step of integral yoga. Okay, so we need to put effort in the right place. Yeah. And then she's saying that, at times we talk about the mind and the gradations above the mind, the higher mind, the illumined mind. So somebody is asking that, is it possible directly from mind to pass to the supermind? Just to tell you. And Mother says, who said that one can't? So she's shattering all the formulas that we make. She's saying with the supermind, everything is possible as per our receptivity and the person's inclination, the need, and the state of progress. So everything is possible with the truth consciousness being here. And it is here. So what could have taken 12 years can be done in one day. Nothing is impossible with the truth consciousness being here. And then she says that we can notice, all of us, we can notice, if only one noticed that one was a little less stupid than before, that would already be something. So if we are able to notice that, oh, I am a little less stupid than what I was a couple of years ago, that's already the action of supramental force upon us. Yeah, I think more or less that's it. That I wanted to share. Yeah. Any sharing here? Anything to question? Any concern? Anyone? Okay?
In the morning only, I read the synthesis of yoga, 4 aids. Same thing Bhagavan Sri Aurobindo has told. It is the ego. We have to detach from that, go deep inside and find it. Same words that were end of the 4 aids he has written that I just want to tell.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. And we have a complete compilation on the psychic being, I think, by A.S. Dalalji. So, and so much
Yes.
read, Mother has said, Sri Aurobindo. So many hints are there. Really, if one wants to work upon it, there is no dearth of hints, really. So, yes. And Mother says to that extent that when you enter inside your heart, deep in your heart, you encounter something very warm and sweet.
Sometimes some sort of happiness, like we don't know, nothing. We didn't get material thing, nothing. But all of a sudden,
Yes,
we feel some joy. Oh, that will last for few seconds. Then,
yes,
okay, mother, okay, at least next time.
yes,
That sort of thing, when we read more about mother and Sri Aurobindo books and everything, when we sit quietly also without doing anything, also sometimes that inside we can feel some sort of joy, happiness.
yes, yes, absolutely. And Mother says that to be in touch with this and to more and more live in this, more and more act through this, more and more, even our thoughts and feelings are guided through this presence. And that is where we can say after some time that the time of the ego is over. Hmm? And the moment anything in the consciousness arises, which one feels is coming from the ego consciousness, which will keep on arising, to not follow that dictate and to follow the guidance within, the goodness within, the discernment within. Hmm? Okay, so today for a conclusion part, I thought we will take some prayers where Mother uh, kind of, you know, I mean, anything can be concluding prayer, but I thought I would just pick a few where Mother talks about first a prayer for those who wish to serve the divine. There's a prayer towards the end, and then how to give ourselves. Man, the bridge, the link we have already talked about yesterday. There was a prayer. What is the purpose of man? And let's see then how far we can go. But let's start with July 1 first, July 1, 1914, where Mother talks about if one truly knows how to give oneself. July 1st, 1914. So, would anyone want to read?
I'll read.
Please, yeah.
July 1st, 1914. We hail thee, O Lord, with adoration and with joy, and give ourselves to thee in a gift constantly renewed, so that thy will may be accomplished upon earth and in all the places of this universe. When we turn towards thee, the thought is mute, but the heart exults, for thou shinest resplendent in all things, and the least grain of sand may be an occasion for worship. We bow down before thee, we unite with thee, O Lord, in a love that is limitless and full of an inexpressible beatitude. Oh, grant this sovereign joy to all.
Thank you. So, we were talking about self-giving earlier, where we also did a practice giving ourselves as a flame, and putting everything into it, everything into it. In one of the prayers, Mother says that if only we knew how to give our happiness as well as suffering, how to give our present as well as past to the divine. Hmm? So no matter, at times we think, oh, I can give my happiness to the mother, but I don't want to give suffering to the mother. Come on. She's ready. She has given us the process. And that is how it will be transformed. So not to keep anything to this little self, because whatever you keep, it aggrandizes the ego. Whether the ego is a victim ego or the other way around, it's an ego. It limits us. So whatever we are, our qualifications, our disqualifications, our happinesses, suffering, joys, and whatever, turmoils, resistances, obstacles in me, all of that has to be constantly given to the divine. And here Mother says, give ourselves to thee in a gift constantly renewed. So this constant giving is very important. Not that, okay, when I'm in the session, then I do the giving and, later I forget. One has to constantly give. Just like yesterday we were discussing, if we want to be perfect in any skill, it may be singing, it may be playing an instrument, it may be playing a sport. What do? Practice, practice, practice until we have the voice which cannot go wrong. So that self-giving is why self-giving is necessary, because right now we are limited in ourselves. We are like this, and now we are saying, no, 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 I belong to you. I belong to you, which is the true thing. We belong to the divine. So this has to become a natural way of living, not this, right? Slowly, what will happen? The self-giving won't be necessary, because there will be such a unification that you live only for the divine. So the telling is not necessary. And to notice that it's the divine which is present in everything, whether it's animate, inanimate, of this universe, of other universe, and we are enveloped in that divinity throughout the time. So if you are facing a danger, if you are in a forest, if you are in an adventure in life, risky situations, risky times, if you are able to feel this divine presence in the space around you, that I am cradled in divinity, what am I to fear? What is the worst possible that can happen? Death. Death doesn't stop us as beings. The life goes on after death. So what is there to fear? Right? So this, and then let's go to October 23rd, 1937. The last, almost, I think the last prayer. Yes.
May I?
Yes, please, Meenakshi. Yeah.
October 23rd, 1937. A prayer for those who wish to serve the divine. Glory to thee, O Lord, who triumphest over every obstacle. Grant that nothing in us shall be an obstacle in thy work. Grant that nothing may retard thy manifestation. Grant that thy will may be done in all things and at every moment. We stand here before thee, that thy will may be fulfilled in us, in every element, in every activity of our being, from our supreme heights to the smallest cells of the body. Grant that we may be faithful to thee utterly and forever. We would be completely under thy influence to the exclusion of every other. Grant that we may never forget to own towards thee a deep and intense gratitude. Grant that we may never squander any of the marvelous things that are thy gifts to us at every instant. Grant that everything in us may collaborate in thy work and all be ready for thy realization. Glory to thee, O Lord, Supreme Master of all realization. Grant us a faith active and ardent, absolute and unshakable in thy victory.
Yes, thank you. So yes, here we are. A prayer for those who wish to serve the divine. We would be completely under thy influence to the exclusion of every other. I feel this is very important practically. What does this mean? What does this mean? It means, again, just sharing a window. There may be many other ways to understand this. So let's take any practical situation. Maybe a person wasn't kind to you. He said or she said a word which you didn't like. What happens? The first reaction, if we are not solely under the divine, we get disappointed, don't we? So that tells us that I'm not solely under the divine yet. Because whatever somebody has said, that's their emotional space. And if whatever the best he could give, he gave. Maybe he could not give any better. Who knows what the other person is going through? We don't know. Psychologically, emotionally, karma-wise, we have no idea about the other person. But since our focus is always me, 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 what we do is we immediately take it upon me. And we get disappointed, we have moods, we don't want to see that person again. We try to avoid that person, have bad thoughts about it, ill will about the other person. This all is not needed at all. And this tells me that I'm not solely under the divine. What does it mean for me? I'm just sharing about how I feel it. Whatever anybody has said is none of my business. Really. And mother says that how to take if somebody is saying something, criticizing something. Mother says if there is truth in anything, in the criticism, take that truth for your progress. If he has said something which you should work upon, so work on it. Forget about the tone, forget about anything else. And I feel I can really guarantee you an unshakable peace and joy within if you actually live only for the mother. And this line is not a theory for us. We would be completely under thy influence to the exclusion of every other. That our whole being, whenever we close our eyes, whenever we open our eyes, it just, like in the case of Pavitrada we were sharing, the whole being just went to Mother and Sri Aurobindo, nowhere else. Nowhere else. Because we have to understand that our senses are illusory. They give us distorted perceptions of reality. I cannot trust my senses. So if some person said something or a situation happened, whatever opinion I have about that situation is a distorted opinion. How can I trust it? So not to trust it, be unsure of my thoughts and feelings, and to again come back in the divinity, in the divine presence immanent within, and to take whatever was important from my progress from that episode. If that person said something which you should work upon it. Don't take it sentimentally. That is what it means for me to be under soul exclusively divine influence, that nothing can shake me. The appearances and human, now nobody is big and small. You must have seen at times Prime Minister is coming, CEO is coming. Yes, 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 sir. Yes, sir. What is this? And if a regular person is walking by, we don't pay any such attention to the person. So why can't be we equal in our dignity that we give to humans? Why can't a person on a street, lying on a street, be as important for us as somebody else? If somebody else comes with medals and degrees or anything else. Or that's why we see, especially rampant in India, we see big cars swooshing away on the road. Why? Because this is what we have created. We give value and dignity to power, to money. And so those people who get power and money, they think they have full right to bully. And that's why Mother says power and money are in the hands of Asura, that when we have power and money, the power and money rules us. We have no control over our mind then. So to be completely under thy influence, nothing should be able to shake us from within. And then the part where Mother says about gratitude, because that is the most ignored of Mother's 12 qualities. Grant that we may never forget to own towards thee a deep and intense gratitude. We have no idea what the Divine Mother and Sri Aurobindo have already firmly established for us in order to make things easy for us. We have no idea. And we get the help throughout the day. The very fact, so in Pondicherry, I feel the traffic is a little very rogue. The two-wheelers don't know how to brake. Like they don't want to brake. At times, people are like, the phone is here and like there, and they are on their bike. And not even that. The phone is here and there is a baby in the arms. So I wonder that all these people are getting back home safely in one piece. And I really wonder, like, the divine grace is present every day. Otherwise, how is it possible that we are not crashing into each other? And then also think, the minds that we have, so confused. The minds that we have, we are always thinking about throughout, each person has his own life. Each person is consumed in his own life. So throughout the day, we are just kind of, lost in our thoughts. And even then, everyone, most of the times on the street, reaches back home safely. Isn't that a wonder? So the gratitude that each moment is so precious and we are given so much that we don't value. We take it for granted. We only think about it when we land up in the hospital with a damaged organ or something. And then we say, then we feel actually that for so long it was working so fine. We never thanked it. So, and the next part, Mother says, we may never squander any of the marvelous things that are thy gifts to us at every instant. The gifts we have, the power of feeling, the power of intellect, the power of this mind, which although abused, but can be used so well. We can learn new languages. We can read Mother and Sri Aurobindo and can fathom and can go into it and apply it to our lives. Isn't that a gift? Because look at other people, look at billions of us. Is everyone able to comprehend and understand and apply? Many people, even if they want to, don't have the intellect to understand, don't have the capacity to understand. It happens, no? In dementia and in Alzheimer's, whatever you are reading doesn't go in. The ability to move our hands, to learn a new skill, an instrument, to be able to sing from your voice something of the divine. So many gifts are given to us. To be able to walk and take a flight to the Samadhi or wherever you want to go. But she says that maybe not squander, and it is very sad to see that we squander the gifts most of the time. So let us not do that. Let us not do that. Let us recognize what all we have and use it very, very wisely, knowing that we are just trustees of all that is given to us. And we have to really take care of everything very well and leave it in even a better shape than we got it. And grant that everything in us may collaborate in thy work and be ready for thy realization. Yeah, so this was one that I wanted to share as a concluding prayer. Maybe we can look at it time and again and renew our aspiration with it. Yeah, anything anyone wants to share or add on? Okay. So I want to just give you the number of the prayers which are important on how to work. The points we have already discussed, so I'm not taking it in detail, but all of you, whoever is interested, can go on and read it by whenever they have time. So starting from November 10, 1914, June 30, 1914, June 26, 1914, June 27, 1914, Feb 11, 1914, June 25, 1914, and June 21, 1914. So these prayers are talking about the way right attitude in work, a detached attitude in work. Like we were discussing yesterday, that if I am a teacher, not for a moment should I have that attitude that, oh, my children should miss me. That, oh, I will miss my children. Yeah, it's fine. It's a passing thought. But also be ready for a new adventure wherever divine puts us. Because we don't know what is our good use. He knows the best. So a detached attitude. And then she also says in one of the prayers, what does it matter what place one occupies? Let's take actually this prayer. I think it's June 27, 1914. Yeah. So in June 27, 1914, the first paragraph, I'm just taking a few lines. What does it matter which place one occupies? What mission thou entrustest? Does not all lie in the fact of being entirely thine, as perfectly as one can be, without the least care of any kind? So not caring about मेरे को क्या position मिल रही है, कल क्या मेरा demotion होना है, promotion होना है, not bothered about that. But realizing more and more progressively the union inside, and then whatever happens outside will be for the highest good, will be for our progress. Yeah, and then two prayers which I want to bring our notice to talk about the escape from ordinary consciousness. So this ordinary consciousness is, and there are more also, I'm just right now talking about two. Ordinary consciousness is this, the regular mind that we have, bothered by everything, every detail of the day, this person, that relative, this relative, what will happen of me, am I okay, am I doing right? All this thing is the ordinary consciousness. So Feb 14, 1914 talks about the escape from ordinary consciousness. Yeah. She says, may all escape from the ordinary consciousness and be delivered from the attachment to material things. May they awake to the knowledge of thy divine presence, unite themselves with thy supreme consciousness, and taste the plenitude of peace that springs from it. So that is like a chain, a handcuff that we have, and which limits us. And March 30, 1917. Just that, and after that we do a little practice. March 30, 1917. Yeah, the first 3 lines. There is a sovereign royalty in taking no thought for oneself. Royalty, like a king. To have needs is to assert a weakness. To claim something proves that we lack what we claim. To desire is to be impotent. It is to recognize our limitations and confess our incapacity to overcome them. How humiliating to ask something for oneself from life or from the supreme consciousness which animates it. How humiliating for us, how ignorant an offense against her. For all is within our reach. Only the egoistic limits of our being prevent us from enjoying the whole universe as completely and concretely as we possess our own body and its immediate surroundings. Such too should be our attitude towards the means of action. So, what does it mean practically for us? You remember the story of Swami Vivekananda when he went to ask something for his family. I think he was in financial trouble. And he went to Ramakrishna Paramhansa and he said that I want some finances for the family. They're in need. And Ramakrishna said, go upstairs and ask yourself. And poor guy, he was not able to ask. He went and he said कि मतलब क्या मांगू, तुझे तो सब पता है, अगर जरूरत होगी तो देगा नहीं क्या? Won't you give if it's necessary? So it's a humiliating thing to ask. Won't the divine know what you need? And this I often see even for our children, because at times we find ourselves asking for our children, our immediate family, relatives. Imagine somebody is not well, so we ask, may that person be well, as if the divine doesn't know. Very interesting, no? So that's why mother says it's humiliating to you, because as if you don't know what to do the best with that person. But it's our attachments, it's our attachments which compel us to ask. And what happens when we are leaving our children, when they have grown up a little and then we are leaving, there is a fear in our heart. As if we were the ones who were taking care and now they will not be taken care of. Interesting. So we have to fill, and I've seen it in myself also, that how we want to control, and we feel that our children may not be safe now when venturing out. So can we, because this is a default thought and we can't help it, it's okay. But can we, noticing these kind of thoughts, humiliating thoughts and the thoughts which do not trust the divine, can we, the moment we notice it, can we change them to thoughts which are full of a luminous trust in the divine? That's what we are born for. We are to change it, the darkness to light. So what I did, for example, in my case is that whenever I have felt a kind of a insecurity, I would say, that would my child be safe venturing out? I have visualized for myself that the streets are full of presence of mother and Sri Aurobindo, and I have nothing to worry about. And I have consciously chosen not to give power to any negative thoughts. which come from a lack of trust in the divine. So the moment we become aware of any insecurities about our family, our relatives, which may come because the design is such, but our task is to notice them and to fill the thoughts with plenitude and with security that we are in the lap of the divine. I am also a child of the divine, my children also children of the divine, and the divine is taking care of everything much, much more perfectly than what I can take care of. So I have nothing to be afraid of. Our children have nothing to be afraid of. We are in the lap of the divine. So to change the thought pattern. And yeah, in this prayer, the first line where mother shares, there is a sovereign royalty. Feel that royalty. When you are totally carefree about yourself or your family. Royalty in taking no thought for oneself. How does it matter if death comes? Because the most we are afraid of is death. So confront it, face it when it comes. And tell yourself, how does it matter? We are immortal beings. That is how we should live, taking no care of ourselves when we are working for the divine, with the divine, in the divine. Okay, so any last thoughts before we conclude with the practice? Fine.
One thing I would like to add regarding mothers, this thing. Yes, that is true when we have to imagine that we are always, it's better to. And one more I have heard in many of the writings also, mother always says, if 1 second, if you come to me, I will take the responsibility of your entire life. If we keep that in our mind, most of the time we won't feel that the fear or insecure about our family and children. That it is very valuable thought we should have, that mother is there to take care of them. That is one, for a second also, if we come to mother, entire life is being taken care by her. That we should have that strong thing. That's I just want to tell.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that we have to become conscious of whenever a negative thought arises about insecurity, of any fear, of anything, lack of trust in the divine, immediately to catch it. And ahuti, not to entertain it, not after half an hour I have thought about it and I've made myself worried and then I'm thinking, oh, I better give it to mother. Of course we can give it to the mother anytime, but why to drain our energies? Why to not enjoy this sovereign royalty that mother says, to live like a king? Kabir says, no, um, uh, he says, चाह गई चिंता मिटी, मनवा बेपरवाह, जिनको कछु नहीं चाहिए वो शाहन के शाह. So he says, all my desires and wantings and askings have died, disappeared. Chah gayi, chinta miti. Along with that, I have also gotten rid of all the worries and concerns. Manwa beparwa. Now I live carefree, with a carefree mind. Jinko kachu nahi chahiye, wo shahan ke shah. The people who don't want anything for themselves are the true royal people. Shahan ke shah, king of kings. So let us live like kings and children of the mother and not like beggars, which we are not supposed to be. Okay. Okay. So let's do a practice. Is it okay? 5-10 minutes. So closing our eyes and feeling the strength of mother's victory, Sri Aurobindo's victory in our body. No matter how uncertain the limited mind may be, but the victory is certain. We have to tell ourselves. We may not feel it. Some part of us may be skeptical, but how does it matter? Feel that solitude, the solidity in the body. When you know that the divine is animating you in each part and parcel of your body, mind, feelings. Without the divine, you do not exist. And whether I know it or not, the divine is doing his work silently, without any pomp and show. God will grow up while wise men talk and sleep. So have that solidity in your body, that everything that you can think of is protected. All your relatives, your family is taken care by the divine. You're also a child of the divine. Everybody is a child of the divine. And the whole earth, including all of us sitting wherever we are sitting, is cradled in this divine presence. No matter how dire situations may seem apparently, not to trust our senses, what they say and what the opinions they make of the appearances that are there. But knowing fully that whether I see it or not, feel it or not, whether I can think it or not, the divine is present and the divine victory is certain in me and outside me. For the whole earth, for my whole family, for the people connected or disconnected to me, people who I like, do not like, people who have troubled me, not troubled me. The divine victory is certain for all of us. And now go beyond the earth. As the earth aspires and gives itself to the divine, go beyond the earth and look at all the universes, parallel universes, so many planets. We don't know where life exists, where not. All of them living in the divine, for the divine, because of the divine. The whole Leela, the play that has come into existence for the delight of it. Let us make a conscious choice to enter into this delight of the play, the adventure of the play. Let us look at our stories with a laughter. It's a drama, after all. It's a drama. Everything is created so that I can progress. This drama, that drama, how melodramatic, it's a drama. Secondary to what is the most important thing, my progress as a human being and my union with the divine consciousness. And from that expanse of universe, how little, not even worth a grain of sand, how little are our stories, how insignificant. How insignificant is my presence in this vastness and expanse of the universes. But what matters is whether I collaborate or not. Whether I become a shining flame rising up to the divine, offered fully, living for the divine. And so many shining flames throughout the earth, collectively individually giving themselves to the divine for the proper use of our individuality. May we be used by the divine for the divine work in whatever way the divine wants. See all these powers of the mother, the 4 powers of the mother, 4 aspects, working in each and every human being, each and every creature. Maheshwari, wideness, expanse, knowledge, wisdom. Mahakali, the power of precise action, immediate action with force present in all of us. The power of destruction, which is needed for a new creation, new birth. It's grace when the destruction happens within us or without. It's for a new creation, which is necessary in the world of ignorance. The power of Mahasaraswati, working through our minds, our organizing minds. Perfection, detail in work. Putting things in order, beauty. And the power of Mahalakshmi, working also in each one of us, through each one of us. Beauty of thoughts and feelings, abundance, prosperity. Not a path of suffering, but a path of delight. Living in our royal sovereignty as the children of the mother, born to do her task, born to collaborate in the divine task, the divine work. And let us not shrink from any challenge, any fear, any change that is going to happen in our lives or is happening, is not happening, doesn't matter. Outer change doesn't matter. Let us constantly renew our aspiration for the inner change, which is far from complete yet. Each cell becoming full of light and aspiration towards the divine, full of certitude of divine victory. Each cell in the body, knowing that the victory is certain. Truth will win. In our mind, a clarity in the mind, either a silence in the mind, a peaceful beatitude, or the thoughts which collaborate with the divine work. In our heart, the feelings which propel the divine work. And in the depth, always taking guidance from the goodness in our heart, the discernment in our heart, which always knows which way to go. Trusting it fully and surrendering, unifying our thoughts and feelings and the actions of the body to its guidance. And all of this as we accomplish and step towards in our being, we continue to offer our achievements and realizations as a flame goes high up and offers itself up above to the divine, leaving nothing to this limited self, offering every realization, every obstacle. As Mother says in one of the prayers, may I be the fire that illumines. a spring that quenches thirst. And may we all be love that gives always to all, without asking anything in return. And as we open our eyes, we carry the same consciousness with open eyes, always offering ourselves up to the divine, never keeping anything at all to our limited self. Living carefree, like a king, like a mother's true child, with open eyes, and with all the action that is there in the daily life. May we be able to carry that state wherever we go. Great. So, all the warriors ready, renewed energy for the march ahead. Yes? Good. Okay, so that's all I think from my side. Thank you, everyone, for your receptivity, for the patience and everything. And may we all be truly mother's children wherever we are and do the best we can do in our life. Thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Yeah, wonderful sessions.
Thank you.
And
James.
yeah. Namaste to you all, and keep marching forward. Don't
Thank you.
stop. Don't stop.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Namaste.